He asked for an open marriage on a night when I was already tired. Not tired like I needed sleep. Tired like my whole life had been leaning forward, holding its breath, waiting for him to decide if I was enough. We were in the kitchen, the overhead light too bright, the sink full of plates neither of us had moved since dinner. He stood in that empty space between the counter and the fridge like he owned it, like he owned the conversation before it even started. I was rubbing a smear of sauce off a pan when he said it. "I've been thinking," Owen said, careful and calm, like this was a budget meeting. "Maybe we should open things up." The sponge stopped moving. I didn't turn around at first. I waited for the punchline that never came. "Open what?" I asked. "Us," he said. "The marriage." My heart did that stupid thing it always did around him. Sprinted ahead of my thoughts, as if panic could keep me safe. I faced him slowly. He wasn't smirking. He wasn't angry. He looked almost relieved, like he'd finally said something he'd been rehearsing. "Why?" I asked. He shrugged, too casual. "We're young," he said. "We've been together a long time. I love you. I just don't want to feel trapped." Trapped. As if I was a cage. As if I was the thing holding him back from his real life. I searched his face for anything that resembled fear of losing me. I didn't find it. I found confidence. It was new on him. Owen had always been charming, always the kind of man who could lean back at a party and make the room lean toward him. But in our relationship, he'd been comfortable. Lazy with his affection. Certain, now he was certain in a different way. Certain I would fold. And I did, because guilt is a powerful leash, because my first thought wasn't, do I want this? My first thought was, if I say no, will he leave? I had spent months feeling like the air between us was thinning. Like I was always one wrong sentence away from him checking out, from him deciding I was too sensitive, too needy, too much. So I tried to be mature. I tried to be the kind of woman who didn't cling. I tried to be the wife he wouldn't have to apologize for. "Okay," I heard myself say. My mouth said it before my body agreed. His eyes lit up. Not with gratitude, with victory. It was subtle, a quick lift at the corners of his mouth, but it hit my stomach like spoiled milk. He stepped closer, like he was about to hug me. Then he stopped. "There's just one rule," he said. My chest tightened. "One rule. That sounded reasonable, right? A boundary, a safeguard, something fair." He smiled, the same smile he used when he was sure he was about to get his way. "You can do it, but I get to read your messages first, and if I don't like how excited you sound, I'm shutting it down." The words landed like a hand around my throat. Read your messages first. Not, we talk. Not, we communicate. Not, we set boundaries. Read your messages first. And if I don't like how excited you sound. Excited. My desire, inspected. My tone, judged. My tone, judged. My feelings, licensed. I stared at him, waiting for him to laugh. He didn't. "That's," I started. "Fair," he finished for me. "It keeps things equal." Equal. I thought about the fact that he'd already been thinking about other women. He had to have. You don't come to the kitchen with a plan like this unless you've been shopping in your mind for a while, and my part in it was contingent on how tame I sounded. Contingent on whether he approved of my excitement. I felt heat crawl up my neck. I should have said no. I should have said absolutely not. Instead, I swallowed and said, "Okay." He kissed my forehead like I was a child agreeing to medicine. "Thank you," he murmured. And I realized something terrifying. He wasn't asking for freedom. He was asking for control. He wanted permission to cheat. But he needed to make sure I never felt wanted by anyone else. The next morning, he was a different man. He woke up early. He shaved with care. He wore cologne he hadn't touched in months. He stood in front of the mirror adjusting his shirt like he was trying on a new identity. "Where are you going?" I asked. "Gym," he said. He started going before work. And suddenly he was texting more, laughing at his phone, turning it face down when I walked by. If I asked who it was, he grinned. "Relax," he said. "We're open now." As if my agreement meant I forfeited the right to flinch. By the end of the week, he had a new confidence that made me feel like I'd married someone else. He whistled while making coffee. He wore jeans that actually fit. He stood behind me in the hallway and slid his hands around my waist, not to be close, but to remind me he could. And he started using the open marriage like a weapon. It happened the first time I got quiet at dinner. I was poking at my food, trying to swallow around a knot in my throat when he said casually, "I'm seeing someone Friday." My fork froze. "Already?" I asked. Owen lifted an eyebrow. "What?" he said. "You agreed. You agreed." 4 syllables that made me feel trapped in my own consent. "I'm just surprised," I said. He leaned back in his chair. "Don't do that," he said. "Do what?" I asked. The sad face, he said. "We're being mature about it, remember?" Being mature. It sounded like a compliment. It was a muzzle. Friday night, he left wearing his good shoes. He didn't kiss me goodbye. He didn't say, "I love you." He said, "Be cool," like I was a roommate. I sat on the couch with my phone in my hand, scrolling aimlessly just to have something to do with my fingers. I told myself I could do this. I told myself the jealousy was just the old version of me, the insecure version, the version I was trying to outgrow. But the truth was simpler. I didn't feel mature, I felt erased. The next time it happened, it was a coworker. Ethan from marketing. We were leaving the building at the same time when he said, "Hey, are you free for a drink sometime?" I felt a pulse of panic, not because of Ethan, because I heard Owen's voice in my head. "If I don't like how excited you sound." I told Ethan I'd think about it. Then I went home and did the thing Owen wanted me to do. I handed him my phone. My stomach turned as I watched him scroll, not through anything explicit, just through my life. My messages to my sister. My group chat with coworkers. My notes app. He paused at Ethan's name. "What did he say?" Owen asked. "He asked me for a drink," I said. Owen's eyes flicked up. "And?" he asked. "And I said I'd think about it," I said. Owen smirked. "Read it out loud," he said. I blinked. "What?" I asked. "Your reply," he said. "Read it." My face burned. It wasn't sexual. It wasn't romantic. It was 3 words. Sure, I'll think, but reading them out loud felt like stripping, like letting him hear the shape of my tone. I swallowed. "Sure, I'll think," I said quietly. Owen watched my face like he was reading a meter. "Not too eager," he said, satisfied. "Okay. Okay," like he was approving a purchase. "You can go," he said. "You can go." Not, "I trust you." Not, "Have fun. You can go." Like he was giving me a leash length. When I got to the bar with Ethan, I felt like I was doing something wrong just by laughing. Ethan was nice, genuinely nice. He asked about my work. He listened. He didn't look past me like I was a background character. But the whole time, I kept checking my phone. Because Owen had started texting. "Where are you? Who else is there? Send a picture." I stared at the screen, my skin prickling. I sent a photo of the bar sign, then Owen texted again. "Not your face." I felt my cheeks go hot. I typed back, "Why?" Owen replied immediately. "Because I need to hear your tone. My tone." Like I was an audiophile he could approve. I went to the bathroom and stared at myself in the mirror. I looked like a woman on a date, but I felt like a woman on parole. When I got home, Owen was on the couch. He didn't ask if I had fun. He held out his hand. "Phone," he said. I gave it to him. He scrolled through my messages with Ethan, all of them innocent, all of them polite. He paused at one. "Ethan, you have a great laugh." Owen looked up slowly. "Did you laugh a lot?" he asked. "We talked," I said. "Answer the question," Owen said. My heart pounded. "Yes," I said. Owen's mouth tightened. "That's too much," he said. "Too much. Laughter was too much." "You're getting carried away," he continued. "I'm not," I said. Owen stood. "Don't argue," he said. "You agreed." There it was again. That sentence that turned my consent into a cage. "I agreed to an open marriage," I said, my voice shaking, "not to you monitoring my emotions." Owen stared at me. His eyes were flat. "Same thing," he said. That was the moment something in me shifted. Because if he truly believed that, it meant this was never about equality. It was about ownership. After that, the goalposts started moving. The next rule was that I had to tell him the details of any date before I went. Not explicit details, not physical things, but the emotional ones. What I liked about them, what they said that made me smile, whether they made me feel special. And if I answered too quickly, Owen would narrow his eyes. "You sound excited," he'd say. The rule wasn't about messages. It was about the parts of me he didn't want to share. My light, my laughter, my appetite for attention. Meanwhile, he acted single. He stopped wearing his wedding ring. He started going out on weeknights. He stopped asking me how my day was. And when I tried to talk about how lonely I felt, he'd tilt his head and say, "You're making this weird." Making it weird. As if I was ruining his new life by having feelings. He started coming home late, humming. He started leaving early, glowing. He started treating our marriage like a home base he could rest at between adventures. And I was supposed to smile. Be mature. Be cool. One Saturday morning, I was in bed scrolling my phone when Owen sat beside me. "Let me see," he said. "See what?" I asked. "Your messages," he said. "I'm not talking to anyone right now," I said. Owen's eyes sharpened. "That's not the point," he said. "The rule is the rule." I stared at him. "So you want to read messages that don't exist?" I asked. Owen's mouth twitched. "I want to know you're not hiding anything," he said. Hiding. Like I was the liar. Like I was the one who'd asked for this. I handed him my phone. He scrolled anyway. Through old conversations, through innocuous jokes, through my friend Maya's voice notes. He stopped at a message from my sister that said, "You deserve better." He looked up. "Is she talking about me?" he asked. I felt my stomach drop. "It's a general thing," I lied. Owen's eyes narrowed. "Tell her to mind her business," he said. I stared at him. "Don't involve her," I said. Owen smiled. "You're getting defensive," he said. "That's suspicious." Suspicious. My boundaries were suspicious. That afternoon, he added a new condition. "If you go out with someone," he said, "you have to leave your wedding ring on." I blinked. "Why?" I asked. "Because I don't want you forgetting what you are," he said. "What you are, not who, what. A wife, a possession, a thing with a label." I felt my throat tighten. "But you take yours off," I said. Owen shrugged. I'm not the one who needs reminders, he said. The humiliation hit in slow waves. Because he wasn't even pretending it was equal anymore. He wanted freedom, and he wanted me branded. The next week, he started asking me to send him drafts of my replies, not just to men, to anyone. He'd hover behind me on the couch, watching my thumbs move. Don't put that emoji, he'd say. That sounds too friendly, he'd say. Delete that, he'd say. He became obsessed with my tone like it was evidence, like if I sounded happy without him, he'd lose something he believed he owned. One night, Ethan texted me, nothing flirtatious, just hope your week's going okay. Owen was in the kitchen. I saw the notification and my stomach clenched. I didn't answer. I stared at it until the screen dimmed. Owen walked in. Who was that? He asked. Nobody, I said automatically. Owen's eyes locked on my phone. Let me see, he said. I hesitated. That half-second pause was enough. Owen's face hardened. Give it, he said. His voice wasn't loud. It was worse. It was sure. Like he didn't have to earn compliance anymore. I handed it over. He read Ethan's message. Then he read my silence. He looked up. Why didn't you answer? He asked. I didn't want to start anything, I said. Owen's mouth twisted. No, he said. You didn't want me to hear how you sound when you talk to him. My skin prickled. That's not true, I said. Owen leaned closer. Answer him, he said. Now. In front of me. My hands felt clumsy on the screen. I typed something neutral. Owen watched, unsatisfied. He took the phone from my hands and typed the reply himself. Hey, week's good. Then he handed it back like he'd corrected my posture. There, he said. That's how you're allowed to sound. Allowed. My throat burned. I went to the bathroom and closed the door. I stared at my reflection. My eyes looked too bright, like they were holding water they refused to release. I pressed my palms to the sink. This is what the open marriage had become. Not freedom, not exploration, not honesty. A psychological cage disguised as maturity. A clean, modern word for something old. Control. That night, Owen went out. I heard him whistling as he put on his shoes. Don't wait up, he said. I didn't. I lay in bed with my phone on the nightstand, face down like it was dangerous. I realized I was afraid of being desired. Not because desire was wrong, because Owen had trained me to associate it with punishment. Every time someone noticed me, I heard his voice. Too excited, too friendly, too eager, and he'd shut it down. Not the relationship. Me. My tone, my laughter, my ability to feel wanted. The next day, he came home in a good mood. He kissed my cheek, quick and absent. How was your night? I asked. Owen smirked. Fun, he said. That was all. No details, no transparency, no mutual respect. Just the glow of someone who'd been fed. I forced myself to act normal, because if I asked for more, he'd say it. You agreed. 2 days later, Ethan invited me to a work event, a networking thing. Public, safe. Owen said I could go, but he treated it like a privilege he was granting. At the event, I kept my smile small and my laughter quiet. And still, my phone kept buzzing. Where are you? Who's near you? How's your tone? I stared at the last message until the answer arrived on its own. I scanned the room and found Owen near the back, watching like a handler. When our eyes met, he lifted his phone slightly. A warning. Ethan came up beside me, said something friendly, and then noticed Owen. I watched Ethan understand in real time that there were rules here he didn't know. Rules that had nothing to do with honesty. His smile faded. He stepped back. Not because he didn't like me. Because nobody wants to get between a man and his control. That night in the car, Owen was quiet. Too quiet. His hand rested on my thigh. Heavy. Not affectionate. Possessive. When we got home, he tossed his keys on the counter. You embarrassed me, he said. My chest tightened. How? I asked. Owen's eyes narrowed. You smiled at him, he said. I smiled at a colleague, I said. Owen stepped closer. You smiled like you wanted him to want you, he hissed. My skin prickled. That's the whole point, isn't it? I asked, voice breaking. You wanted this open. Owen's expression twisted. I wanted honesty, he snapped, not you acting like you're single. I laughed. It sounded like pain. You act single every day, I said. Owen's face hardened. Careful, he said. That word, not a threat on paper, but it was a threat in his mouth. He held out his hand. Phone, he said. I handed it over. He opened my messages and scrolled. Then he stopped. At Ethan. He read the chat. Nothing explicit, just logistics. Friendly banter. Owen looked up. You're done with him, he said. My heart pounded. What? I asked. You're done, he repeated. He's too interested. He's not. I started. Owen's eyes flashed. Don't lie, he said. I saw the way he looked at you. I swallowed. You don't get to decide who I talk to, I whispered. Owen smiled. It wasn't kind. Yes, I do, he said. You agreed. There it was, the magic phrase. A key that locked every door. In that moment, I saw the full shape of it. The open marriage wasn't a door we walked through together. It was a hallway Owen built, long, narrow, mirrors on both sides, and he controlled the lighting. He controlled what I saw when I looked at myself. He controlled whether anyone else could see me clearly. Because if someone saw me and wanted me, I might realize something dangerous. That my self-worth didn't belong to Owen, and Owen couldn't allow that. I slept badly that night. I dreamed of my phone buzzing in my hand while Owen stood over me with a clipboard, grading my words. In the morning, I woke up and my body felt heavy. Not with sadness, with clarity. I made coffee. I watched Owen walk into the kitchen, humming. He kissed me quickly, then reached for my phone like it was his. "Morning check," he said. Something inside me went still. "No," I said. Owen paused. "What?" he asked, smiling like he thought I was joking. "No," I repeated. His smile faded. "Don't start," he said. "I'm not starting," I said. "I'm ending." Owen stared at me. "You can't just change your mind," he said. "I can," I said. Owen stepped closer. "We had an agreement," he said. "You had a loophole," I replied. His eyes flashed. "So what? You want to close it?" he snapped. "I want to leave," I said. The words hung in the air. Owen's face went very still. Then he laughed. "Over a rule?" he asked. "Over what the rule means," I said. Owen shook his head. "You're being dramatic," he said. "Dramatic. That old label. The one that always made me shrink." This time, it didn't. "You didn't want me to have freedom," I said quietly. "You wanted permission." Owen's jaw tightened. "I wanted us to be honest," he said. "Then why do you get to live like you're single?" I asked, "while I have to audition for you every time someone texts me?" Owen opened his mouth, then closed it. Because the answer was obvious. He liked it this way. He liked me small. He liked my desire filtered through him. He liked the idea that even when I was with someone else, I was still performing for Owen. Like my body was a stage and he owned the script. I set my mug down. My hands were steady. "I'm done," I said. Owen's face hardened. "If you walk out," he said, "you're proving you were never mature enough for this." There it was, the last attempt. Shame. I looked at him. I thought about all the times I'd swallowed my feelings to keep him. All the times I'd tried to be the cool wife, the mature wife, the wife who didn't ask for too much. And I realized I'd been bargaining with someone who didn't want partnership. He wanted ownership. I went to the bedroom and pulled out a suitcase. Owen followed me. "You're serious?" he said. "Yes," I said. He leaned in the doorway, arms crossed. "You'll regret it," he said. "Maybe," I replied, "but at least my regret will be mine." I packed slowly. Not everything, just essentials, my documents, my laptop, a few clothes, the things that were mine without question. Owen watched like he was waiting for me to break. "You know you'll never find someone who loves you like I do," he said. I paused. The line was almost funny, because what he called love felt like surveillance. "That's the point," I said softly. When I carried the suitcase to the door, Owen reached for it, not to help, to stop me, his fingers wrapped around the handle. "Give me your phone," he said. I stared. "Even now?" I asked. Owen's eyes were wild. "You don't get to leave with secrets," he said. Secrets. Like my thoughts were contraband. I took my hand off the handle. I held my phone up, not to hand it to him, to show him. The screen was blank. No messages, no flirting, no evidence of anyone else, just my own reflection in the dark glass. "There's nothing," I said. Owen's mouth tightened. "Then why are you leaving?" he demanded. I looked at him, and I finally stopped trying to explain it in a way that would make him feel innocent. "Because you don't want me," I said. "You want control over whether anyone else does." Owen's face twisted. "That's not true," he snapped. "It is," I said. "You don't want freedom. You want a cage you can call honesty." Owen stepped closer. "You're overreacting," he hissed. I opened the door. Cold air rushed in from the hallway. I breathed it like water. Owen's voice followed me. "You're making a mistake," he said. I turned back. He stood in our doorway, framed by the apartment we built together. His eyes were hard, not brokenhearted, not afraid, angry that I was walking away from something he believed he owned. I nodded once, not to agree, to acknowledge. Then I stepped out and let the door close behind me. In the elevator, my hands started shaking. Not because I missed him, because the silence hit me like a new room. No buzzing, no monitoring, no approval. And in that quiet, the truth finally settled into place. This was never about equality. It was about controlling my self-worth. It was about making sure my desire belonged to him, even when his didn't belong to me. I started the engine, and as I pulled out of the parking lot, the final sentence formed in my mind with the clarity of a door locking behind me. He didn't want an open marriage, he wanted ownership.